Turkey, Iran, and Syria in September. And the strongest weapons by any state constitute an investigation in this convention. And we, as we have previous for chemical weapons investigated, the Syrian government has a regime with complying with its obligations under the Chemical Weapons Convention. The regime continues to ignore calls from the international community, including this council, to fully disclose and verifiably eliminate its chemical weapons programs. The OPCW's assessment and ours is that the declaration submitted by the Assad regime still cannot be considered.
And for the members who limited their actions to statements sometimes helpful, but most of the time they cannot limit the scream when they pull out your fingernails. You need to take actions. And for the member states who helped the Assad regime kill its own people, like the Russians, and the Chinese, the Iranians, if they were here, and disappointing statement from the Indians, I will tell you, let's assume your scenario that the Syrian regime is fighting terrorism and that you're helping the Syrian regime in fighting terrorism. Let's assume that. What regime? How could a regime be respected, fighting terrorism, respected after displacing half of its population? How could a regime stay in power when they actually have allowed the displacement of more than 14 million people? How could they be still in power when they detained me and there's proof that I was detained and tortured and my fingernails were pulled out? There is proof. Give me, I challenge you to get proof from the Assad regime showing that I did any crime. I challenge you to prove that I did any crime when I was detained as a minor, as a child. And so many people, survivors, try to tell their stories. When you tell your story, you risk your life. So many countries have taken these refugees, but they failed to provide them with the protection. I was called by the intelligence services. I was called by the guard who tortured me for 1 year, 9 months in Syrian prisons, and he threatened me on the phone. And when I talked to the police, I had an answer saying, take care, be careful. That's not enough. I learned that from the war, from years in the war. I know I should be careful. So that's not enough. We need more help. Same people have fought for so long time.